Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents Scents. Today I've got for you guys 25 different must-own fragrances if you're a beginner for spring and summertime. Fragrances that absolutely shine when it gets warm outside. We have some absolute monster hits and also some fragrances that are a little bit lesser known, some newer ones and some that are not quite as new, but all of these perfect for spring and summer. I'll have each one of these linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. And also shameless self-promotion time. Blue Ridge and Terra Nova, two fragrances I creatively directed. These are great during spring and summer too. And Terra Nova nominated for Men's Fragrance of the Year for 2022. You can find those down below and use the code GENTSCENTS for 20% off your order if you decide to pick one up. That's good for the entire Michael Molo website, or you can find them at every Perfumania or fragrance outlet store in the US. All right, 25 fragrances, let's get started. Very soon I'll be doing a fall and winter version as well, so keep your eyes open for that. Let's kick things off with Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Italian Love. Absolutely fantastic opening, very citrusy, and it's a natural smelling citrus instead of an overly candy sweet. You get a little bit of rindiness to this, a little bit of tartness offsetting that sweetness. Great dry down as well, extremely easy to wear. I think Italian Love, of all the new flankers, is the easiest to pull off with the most versatility for spring and summertime. After that, Coach for Men. This one from Fragrance Discounters, extremely cheap, and this is one of the top 20 best-selling men's fragrances in the United States. And for good reason, it's extremely easy to pull off, very versatile. And if you're looking for a blue type of fragrance, but you don't want to spend too much money, you want to make sure it's from a brand that people are going to recognize, Coach for Men is one of the best bets. Let's go a little pricier with the next one, Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. What can you say about Grey Vetiver? It's considered one of, if not the best office fragrances for men of all time when you're talking designer releases. And it's a very easy to wear, accessible vetiver fragrance. That's one of the things that makes it so nice. Vetiver is one of those notes that some people are scared of because it can come across a multitude of different ways. And if you get a vetiver fragrance that comes across very earthy, dirty, grassy, dry, then maybe that scares somebody away. But Grey Vetiver, nah, this is a classy, stripped, clean, fresh, easy to wear vetiver with a really nice woody scent profile. So Grey Vetiver, gotta get that. Now before we go any further, I should say that technically no fragrance is a must-own. Must-owns are things like, I don't know, food, somewhere to sleep with a roof over your head. Yeah, those are must-owns. Fragrances, not really, but these will set you up to have an amazing collection. After Grey Vetiver, let's keep it in that kind of office, business kind of mindset with Prada L'Homme. Extremely clean with a powdery, soapy freshness that comes from Iris. Prada L'Homme is another fragrance like Grey Vetiver that's considered one of the best work scents out there, and that's because of that cleanliness and that sophisticated edge that it has. It's going to make you smell like you're well put together, even if you aren't. Wonderful fragrance. Love the line, actually. The whole Prada L'Homme line is great. But starting off with Prada L'Homme, probably the safest bet. From there, let's take it to a bit of a classic, a modern classic, YSL's L'Homme. Now, YSL L'Homme is a fragrance that has almost a blue fragrance type of opening. That citrus and ginger combination that this has when you first spray it on smells amazing, and it really pulls in compliments, pulls in positive attention while keeping that versatility at a 10 out of 10. As it dries down, it gets a little bit warmer, and you get this great sweetness that comes out. It makes this one nearly a year-round fragrance if you want it to be. Daytime, nighttime, fall, winter, it can really do it all, but spring and summer is when most people would say this one shines the most. After that one, let's go ahead and tackle this Gentleman Cologne. Now, Gentleman Cologne is kind of, for me, an unsung hero in this line. A lot of people would say, oh, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, that's the best, or Gentleman Reserve Privé, that's the best. But Gentleman Cologne, it can hang with those. It's a different type of scent. The iris in here comes across more green, fresh, almost a little bit watery. But that makes it shine so much more, especially during spring and summertime, because you get a fragrance that has you smelling extremely classy with different kind of vibe than almost any other designer fragrance that people are going to be wearing during the spring and summer. So it gives you this great mix of coming across more unique than most other people out there, but still having something that's easily approachable. And because it does have that bit of a classiness to it, it gives it more usability in more situations. So I love Gentleman Cologne, even if this stuff is not anywhere near as hyped as the cool weather fragrances in this line. Let's go with something cheap, Lacoste L'Homme Intense. This is really surprisingly good. Now, it was cheaper in the past. I think the prices have crept up a little bit on this, but still much less than you're gonna pay for a lot of other designers out there. And when you think about it, the price kind of makes sense. It doesn't look really expensive, does it? The bottle's pretty bare bones. The cap is just a really light piece of plastic. But this is really wonderful. An under the radar hidden gem kind of fragrance. It makes use of rhubarb, which is a note that I very much enjoy. Doesn't really get used all that often, and here it's used to great effect. A really nice kind of tart bite to it, but with also a very sweet, fresh opening. Great usability, good performance from this, and if you can pick it up for a low price point, this can be a real workhorse. Let's get a very obvious one out of the way here. Bleu de Chanel. This is the Eau de Toilette. Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette is going to be a little bit fresher than the Eau de Parfum, though the Eau de Parfum would absolutely work during spring and summer also. This fragrance is that type of scent that you can wear literally anywhere. It is unbelievably versatile. Like, this is not a 10 out of 10 versatility. This is like a 15 out of 10. Some people may think that it's a little bit played out because it is one of the top selling men's fragrances on the market. This one and another fragrance that you may have heard about that may pop up later in this list. Almost everybody owns it, but the reason almost everybody owns it is because it is a compliment puller. It is extremely classy, but you can wear it anywhere. You can wear this to the grocery store, on a date, to the office, to a wedding. It'll work anywhere. It has a ginger citrus combo, like YSL L'Homme that we talked about earlier. And when you smell that and it's done well, you know immediately like, oh, okay, yeah, everybody is gonna dig this. And they do with Bleu de Chanel. Little incense in there also adds great depth as it dries down. Up next, Versace. We're gonna go with Pour Homme. This is another fragrance that is not too terribly expensive from discounters, which really adds to the intrigue here. It's a bit similar to Allure Homme Sport, but fresher than Allure Homme Sport. Not as heavy, not as creamy with the tonka as Allure Homme Sport is. Has a great kind of floral cleanliness to it, while still staying completely a modern masculine fragrance. You don't pick up any powder or anything like that. It's a great out of the shower fragrance. When it's really hot out, this one is extremely refreshing. Versace signature for me has always been just a great go-to summertime scent. One of those ones that you can just leave like on your counter or even next to your door or something if you wanted to. And before you go out, when it's hot out, you can blast yourself with this and know it's gonna work. Let's hop from there to a newer fragrance from Hugo Boss Bottled Pacific. This is their new release for this year. It's fairly simple, but very well done. This is, for me, very much like a beach fragrance, a vacation fragrance. It has a really nice coconut accord to it that you can smell immediately just from the atomizer. That's gonna give you this tropical sweetness. Of course, with this coloration, you know it's gonna have a little bit of a watery tinge to it, kind of an aquatic cleanliness. It's pulled off extremely well. It actually, for me, stands above almost all the other Boss bottled summertime flankers out there, because there are a lot of them, and a bunch of them just kind of come and go, and there's nothing to them that's really interesting. But this one I feel like is a great little summertime score. And another one that I think is really awesome, Terre d'Hermès Au Givre from Hermès. This is freaking good. That opening is just killer. It has a citron opening, and a little bit like the light blue we talked about earlier, it's kind of a more natural take on citrus, where you do get a little touch of that rindiness, you know, little touch of that sour part of citrus that helps offset the sweetness a little bit and makes it more interesting. As it dries down, it takes on kind of a modern woody feel, makes it extremely usable, like pretty much all of these. And harkening back to the earlier Terre d'Hermès fragrances, it's got a nice classiness to it when that woodiness comes out. So this one, I think, is one of the best releases of the past couple years. After that one, let's talk about Eros Flame. This one gets brought up by you guys all the time. I'll ask questions on the community tab of my YouTube channel. Hey, which fragrance do you think is the best for this? And you guys seem to bring Eros Flame up all the time, way more than Eros Eau de Parfum, Eau de Toilette, or Parfum. And for spring and summer, I think this is a great reach. Under the radar a bit more when you compare it to the other Eros fragrances, but you still get that Eros DNA here. You get that sweetness with a little bit of an extra slight green tinge, a little bit fresher as well. It's sort of a jack of all trades in spring and summer. Daytime, nighttime, to the office potentially, or even out to a club. This will get the job done, and it's another one. That's a big compliment puller. All right, next one is another cheapie. This is Chrome Aqua from Azzaro. And even though this is made more for spring summer use, and I will say this until the end of time, it actually smells awesome during the winter because it takes on a really nice icy feel when the cold air hits it. So this makes use of mint and other green notes along with obviously aquatic notes because the name is Aqua. And for the price, it is a no-brainer, an absolute steal. You can often find this 50 ml size bottle for under 30 bucks at discounters. And I would say Azzaro Chrome, that line, you should really check that out if you're looking for affordable fragrances for spring and summer because they got a bunch of different ones you could choose from. Aqua works really well for me because I am a fan of green fragrances. Even though this does have those green notes, it doesn't take it so far that it makes it inaccessible to some people because I know some people don't like when a fragrance comes across too green. This one, just the right amount, just like a Goldilocks kind of fragrance. Let's go with another green one, at least as far as coloration goes. Lacoste L1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche. Again, we're going back to that citrus opening. I talked about it with the Terre de Metz, talked about it with the light blue. This has a citrus opening, kind of like that, an attention-grabbing citrus opening, but this one is sweeter than the last two that we talked about. Absolutely smells fantastic. I'm talking spring and summertime during the day. Spray this on. It is awesome if you like citrus. And as it dries down, it keeps that little bit of classiness and that sporty edge that you would expect from Lacoste. Another fragrance that, frankly, I think you can pull off just about anywhere when it's warm outside. So if you can find this for a decent price and you like citrus, you gotta check it out. And, you know, talking about light blue, I'm gonna include this one also, Light Blue Eau Intense. So we got one light blue, second light blue, and this will be the last light blue we put in here. Don't want to just make it a big list of light blues. Light blue Eau Intense harkens back more to the OG light blue. So light blue Italian Love, when you smell that, it doesn't smell super close to the original light blue Perone. This one gets you a lot closer to that style. So it's gonna be more salty. It's gonna have more of that aquatic feel, less of an emphasis on a very, you know, in-your-face citrus. Obviously it has citrus, just not as ramped up as in Italian Love. And this one also has a little aromatic flair to it, you know, a little green feel that Italian Love doesn't. So if Italian Love is not your style, this very well could be. And we have 10 to go. Now we have to get this next one out of the way. It is Dior's Sauvage, and this is the Eau de Toilette, just like the Bleu de Chanel was the Eau de Toilette. Now, some people may say Sauvage during the summer? Don't know about that because Sauvage is strong. Off my skin, it projects heavily, it lasts forever. So I could see if you say, oh, during summer it's too strong, but also at the same time, I would tell you, I have smelled so many dudes wearing Sauvage during the summer. That sounds weird, I just realized. I'll tell you what, man, just walking around the summer, I've been smelling a lot of dudes. And those dudes that I've been whiffing on, Sauvage. It's not what I mean. I mean, you know when you pass by somebody and you can smell what you know. Quit making this weird. I'm not making this weird. You are. So Dior Savage Eau de Toilette, yes, it's strong. And yes, if you spray it on too much during the summer, it is not gonna be pleasant. I know sometimes the thought process can be, whatever fragrance you have, just spray it, 25 times, no matter what. That is not really a great way to approach it when you're talking something like this. So Sauvage, dial it back during the summer. It's gonna be too much. It's gonna be headache inducing. It's gonna be cloying. You're gonna come off like a D-bag. Just give it some moderate sprays, Let the people come to you. Don't force yourself onto them. But the ambroxan there, the bergamot, the pepper, it all works together very well, even in the heat. Just dial it down a little bit. There's a reason Sauvage is the #1 selling fragrance in the US, and it's because people love it. Does have year-round usability, just adjust your sprays. Let's switch it up from there. 1 Million Lucky from Paco Rabanne up next. Really interesting mix of warm weather and cool weather notes put together. I do think that overall this is more like spring and fall. I think that's like the sweet spot for this one. But you can wear it during the summer as well, and the winter also. So 1 Million Lucky has this kind of ozonic vibe going on while also introducing plum in there, a different kind of fruitiness. Usually you would think of bergamot or apple or grapefruit or lemon or something for a spring summertime scent. Yep, 1 Million Lucky works, and it's interesting too. It's unique. It's a different kind of twist. Let's keep it very clean with the next one, Artisan Pure from Barbados. Yeah, I love this stuff, especially when it's really warm outside. This is just like a breath of fresh air and clean clothing at the same time. A lot of citrus in here, and it's a very smooth citrus. It doesn't have a bite to it. It has almost like a softness to it. The citrus, I mean, it's like a very just smooth citrus, and then some clean woods as it dries down. Really, I feel like this is, you know, if you're dressing up slightly and it's really warm outside, this is a near perfect scent. Let's go next with Missoni Wave. And this is another kind of cheapy all-star because it don't cost too much from a discounter, and you get it in and you go, hey, that's pretty good. And it is. And you know what? We have a dearth of this in this list. There's only 2 other fragrances that I've featured so far that have this, but that's right, sucker. That's a magnetic cap. Ooh, that's a strong one too. It's been trending hard. Eat clean, trend hard, Anavar give up. So Missoni Wave, this a little similar to Versace Parfum, a little similar to Allura Sport from Chanel. This one does have a little more heft to it than Versace Parfum. Versace Parfum is definitely the fresher of the two in terms of just like this bright freshness, but Missoni Wave has a little more body to it, a little more heft to it. I think it just smells absolutely wonderful. And as I said, you can get this for a good price from discounters. It's one of the best cheap buys you can make for a summertime scent. Let's keep it cheap. Next one, Lomrocus. This a little bit similar to Dolce & Gabbana's K Eau de Toilette, but in my opinion better. But it's in that style a little bit. You know, it's that kind of blue scent. Now, some people might say that they wish this had a little bit more power, you know, that it lasts longer, projected heavier, but I think for the type of scent that this is, fresh, clean, blue fragrance made for summertime use mainly, that is an Eau de Toilette concentration that you can pick up from some places for under $30. I'm not gonna complain that much that it doesn't last for 12 hours, you know? And it's a really big compliment puller as well, so just an added benefit there. Okay, the final 5. And this was in no particular order, so it doesn't really matter that these are the last 5, but still, the final 5. Luna Rosa Ocean from Prada. This is Prada's blue fragrance, and they are expanding upon it, or have expanded upon it, because now there's Luna Rosa Ocean, so obviously Prada likes what Ocean is doing. As you would expect from Prada, it's clean, features iris, but the iris is not the same as in Prada L'Homme. In Prada L'Homme, it's more of that powdery, soapy kind of iris. Clean, but it doesn't take on that, you know, that powdery feel. And this is one that really, really, really shines in that transitional period between day and night. This is one of those fragrances that can pretty much do it all. Okay, big one next. Acqua di Gio Profundo. Now, the new Acqua di Gio is coming out very soon as of when I'm filming this video, Acqua di Gio Parfum, but I haven't smelled it yet. That could turn out to be a massive hit. It also could flop, technically. Don't know. But as I'm sitting here today with the Acqua di Gios that I have, Profundo is going to be the one that I suggest. This is my favorite. It is a modernized take on Acqua di Gio. It's not as floral as the original Acqua di Gio is. It's a little more mineral heavy than the original Acqua di Gio. It maintains that watery cleanliness. It maintains that citrus, but it is a modernized take on Acqua di Gio that I think is fantastic for warmer weather. After that, Chanel Allura Homme Edition Blanche. Great scent. A little pricey because it is a Chanel, but what are you gonna do? It has been compared to the smell of lemon meringue pie. Creamy sweet lemon with a nice modern dry down. It's a different kind of change of pace. You know, it doesn't smell similar to anything else here. Some of these fragrances you could say, well, that one and that one kind of share this similarity, and this one share that kind of similarity. This is its own thing, and I think it stands out really strongly, maybe even more so today against all the other flankers coming out than when it came out. After that, Gucci Guilty Black. Gucci Guilty is a line that gets hated on sometimes, but the fact of the matter is Gucci Guilty and Gucci Guilty Black are both just so stupid easy to wear in spring and summer. They're very clean, you know, maybe even a touch soapy, with a great modern masculine edge to them. Gucci Guilty Black is nowhere near as heavy as you would expect if you've never smelled this, and you see the name, see the presentation, you think, oh, it's gonna be dark, it's gonna be incensey, whatever. Nah, green and clean, and I think actually way better than it gets credit for. Last one, YEDT from Yves Saint Laurent. Now, yes, you could go Y Eau de Parfum, and Y Eau de Parfum is for sure more popular than YEDT, but I think if we're talking just spring and summer, that YEDT is the better choice overall for more wearability. And then if you loved white EDT, you could check out white EDP. I feel like I had to put this in here because the other big blue fragrances, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette, Sauvage Eau de Toilette, are both in here. And you can't have Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage and not put in Y, because those are essentially like the three horsemen of the blue fragrance apocalypse. I don't know what the fourth horseman would be. What would that be? Elysium? I don't know. But White Eau de Toilette is a fragrance that I think can sit right up near there with Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage. Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage, to be fair, definitely are a little more attention grabbing. Sauvage because it's very loud and frankly just pleasant, and Bleu de Chanel because it's very classy. But White kind of tries to split the difference to an extent. It's a little sweeter than the other two, but I think it does what it does very well. And I do think that the new version of White EDT is actually better than the original. Usually when they reformulate something, it's worse, like almost always, but this time better. All right, that took forever. There we go, 25 must-own fragrances for spring and summertime. If you're a beginner, get your nose on these. You don't have to like blind buy them or whatever, but check them out when you get an opportunity. You got a wide range of different options here. You got stuff that's gonna be amazing during the evening, other things that are amazing during the day, and here soon we'll do fall and winter. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.